Tenth of a tenth, the holy tithe of the Lord. What is it? How does it work? What are we looking for? My messages aren't for everybody. Truth goes through basically three phases. All truth does. First, it is ridiculed, condemned, and complained about. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it is held as self-evident. All truth goes through the same three phases. The reason why is because we fight against truth because we are afraid of it. We're afraid of the change that will come about in our life. We're afraid of what we have to give up and get rid of. Laman and Lemuel on the ship, they fought against the truths that God kept giving to them. I mean, they were given beautiful things. They were given the ability to see angels. They were given the ability to learn the truths from a master. I mean, Nephi was a master. He knew what was going on. I mean, he was so righteous that he was even correcting his father. Truth is meant to free us so that we can see. It's meant to open our eyes and our ears so that we can hear and see. God's truths are invaluable to our life. And though we must plant them, as Alma talked about, planting the seed and nourishing the seed to find out if it is truth, it's our job to do this. It's our job to bring it about. So if we want truth, we must desire it, pray for it, ask for it, and then start asking the right questions. God can't answer yes or no to questions that are not yes or no. A lot of times he stays silent because we're not asking the right questions. We're not part of the desire to come unto him. So the tenth of the tenth, or the holy tithe, the 1% of the population of the world today, they are those who just desire truth and light. They are those who want Christ to come into their life. They are those who fight against darkness that dwells within themselves. And we all fight that darkness. And as we look deeper within ourselves, we start to see patterns of how that darkness comes forward, of how that darkness is allowed to exist or coexist with us, and how we can push light into our life, and the darkness has to leave. That's the only way to get rid of darkness. You gotta bring in the light. The light is Christ. The truth is Christ. And it heals us. It has a healing effect. So do we want him in our life? Then we have to connect with the tenth of the tenth. We have to find those that are desiring truth, and then share with them the things that we find. Be a lifter. Be a strengthening agent of Christ. When we teach what he has given to us, then he gives us more. When we share the knowledge that he has shared with us, then there is room for more. But if we hold it in and hold it back from his children, it's kind of a tough thing. I know I'm going to get ridiculed. I know that people are going to fight against what I'm sharing. They're going to say all sorts of bad things. I says, I battle darkness just like every one of you. Know this. But I am fighting for my salvation as you must. The closer you get to truth and light, the more the battle becomes. If you want to stay comfortably numb, you can stay that. There's grace for you. Come to Christ and be perfected in Him. The 10th of the 10th are those that will hear my teachings and those that will embrace them. But the other portion, the 10th, they may hear me, but they will not embrace what I have to say. They will not see that I am trying with everything that I am to lead souls unto God, our Father, our God, which is Christ. It doesn't supersede His Father. It glorifies and personifies His Father. But when Christ finished what He did on the cross, He began His ascension. Though He knew the people on the earth were not ready and did not have any idea what was about to take place, even though He tried to share, tried to teach, and tried to help them understand, He asked for a season of time to go back and teach, and He was granted that season. But when the season was finished, He had to ascend. And that's why He can only come forth in His spirit form. For the next time He comes forth, it is described in Scripture as Him coming forth in His glory, and all uncleanness is burned up at His presence. All wickedness, all things that are not celestial, will be removed up off this earth. And He will lift those that are celestial to stand beside Him in the clouds of glory. And this earth will be transformed into a ball of glass. And light and truth will focus through it for the rest of its days until it gets to expand again. God is truth and light. There is more wisdom and more understanding in what He has than I can even possibly tell. God bless your desire to come unto Him and be perfected by His example. He teaches us to be therefore perfect, even as He was, and His Father was, and His Father's Father was. Perfection is the goal, and we must climb the ladder, and the ladder and the hills, they're always uphill. If we're going downhill, we're going the wrong direction, or we're flowing down a comfortably numb path. My goal is to help you succeed. Come into the presence of Christ, the true Christ, for there is a false one that has ascended to his unrightful reign, and he shall be removed. For Christ was not appointed the Christ until His creation was finished, and then He was appointed to be the Christ. He was appointed to be the Son of Man, or the vassal king, yes, but that has not yet taken place, but soon will.